Snapchat filter.
Oh, my Snapchat filter. Thank you, Brandon Franklin. You're the man. He helps me out with some of my social media, and he came up with the idea. I honestly don't even know how to do that, but he figured it out.
How do you feel about it?
I actually looked for it. I didn't see it though. He sent me a picture. Let me.
Oh, here you go. Found it.
There it is. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's cool. The world of social media has changed everything, right? I think the access to athletes is something that's really fun. So I try to bring you guys into my world just a little bit. I try to push you out at other times, but you know, for the next week or so, you'll probably see a Snapchat of Ash or two. But yeah, you know, it's all good fun, and you know, hopefully you got some cool snaps.
So how'd you feel about the 50?
50 was fine. I'm happy to be competing in that event because, again, this year has been all about information. By all means, it's not a good time. You know, I think last year at every Grand Prix I was probably better than that time. But you know, what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks? What physiological changes is going to happen with some more rest? TBD. I don't know. And that's what, you know, the year that's not the Olympics is a little bit about. It's about figuring out what we can do to make sure that our Olympic year is successful.
Any particular reason why you think the 100's really clicked and the 50 hasn't?
Well, I mean, I certainly worked more aerobic this year.
Okay.
I mean, there's no doubt about that, and it's pretty clear in, you know, even some of the numbers. But I'm feeling strong. In the weight room, my numbers are great. My strength is there. My explosiveness is actually pretty solid too. So there's no reason why, you know, come 3 more weeks, I can't be right there along with my best times.
What are you putting up in the weight room?
You're gonna have to come check it out. That's top secret information. You got to get a clearance from Cal. You got to get a clearance from Joel, and you can get some of the you know, tips of you know, the mastermind behind what we do at weights at Cal.
So while you were spending the last 3 days watching cartoons, Caleb was swimming a lot of different events.
He was.
What do you think about what he's done this week and establishing himself as such a versatile swimmer? It's
incredible. I think you know, he, along with all of us, is taking this as a little bit of a scan, seeing you know, what he can handle, what he can, you know, he's obviously accomplished a whole lot, and you know, the sky's the limit certainly, as he competes 50 through the 200 in freestyle and 50, 100 fly. But that's a really grueling schedule come Worlds. So, you know, him and Greg are probably going to take a step back, look at, you know, where they can be most impactful and where they can have you know, earn the most medals for Team USA.
So earlier you said this year's about information. Can you explain that a little more? Are you retooling anything?
Everything. Yeah, I mean, that's the fun of swimming. You know, I think the reason why people are driven out of the sport is because they maybe don't have as I am blessed to have the autonomy I have at Cal with Dave and the receptiveness to new training techniques, whatever we're doing. You know, and having Yuri on the other side of the pool, you know, training his guys, and you know, say I just don't feel like you know, doing one of Dave's sets and getting beat up with fins, paddles, chute, you know, socks, all this equipment, and Yuri's over there doing maybe some 200 pace work. I can hop over there. I can race those guys. I can do what I need to do. And you know, I think that's about being an older athlete. I have that ability to go over there and say, hey, this is what I want to do. I think it's going to make me better today. And that has been what has kept me hungry since basically 2008. You know, it's finding different ways to improve. How, you know, like I got down to 47.5. How are we going to get down to, you know, 47 low? And we're making strides. We just got to figure out how to do it.
Dave was talking today about kind of the pitfalls of being like a rising young star like Caleb. Can you kind of relate to that? You know, people want Caleb to do this and do that, and maybe expecting too much out of the kid.
I mean, I've never qualified in anything other than the 50 and the 100 freestyle. And back when I first did it, there was no mixed relays to contend with either. So it was just a much easier schedule. But I think he's handling it very well. He's taking it methodically. He's taking it one race at a time. That's the only way that I know how to do it. That's the way that I saw Michael do it in 2008, and I think that's, you know, currently the only way I know how to do it.
A couple of your teammates this week didn't have the best week, Tom and especially Josh. So how do you think they've handled themselves, and how do you what do you say to them as they try and get themselves back on track?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. You know, it certainly wasn't the best of meet for the, you know, if you look at it on paper for those guys. And I expect nothing but them to come back and train with a vengeance all fall and race really fast and absolutely be competing for spots on that team next year. You know, ultimately next year really is, and it always has been the goal. You know, that 2-year selection meet, it's just, you know, you can't understate how important that is. You know, to be left off the 2019 World Championships team is pretty tough. So I expect a lot of great things from them, you know, moving forward.
Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it.